Romanchakampa Shuddharanga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Shri Vigraharadhana Nityanana Shingaratan Mandira Majanado Yuktasya Bhakta Shaniyanjatopi Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Chaturvedashi Bhagavad Prasado Swadhana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangha Kritaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Shri Radhika Madhava Yorapara Madhurya Lila Guna Rupanam Nam Praktishana Swadhana Lulupasya Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Nikunja Yuna Adhikali Siddhai Yaya Livi Yukti Apekshaniya Tatrati Daksharati Vallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Sakshadarit Vina Samasta Shasate Uktastata Bhavyata Iva Sadvi Kintu Prabhuya Priyaiva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prasado Yasya Prasada Nagati Kutapi Dayam Stuvam Tasya Yasya Strisanyam Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Sharanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinam. Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Dishatarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman. Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva. Nitya-Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitya-Gaura Haribo.
Jai Om Shnupada Brahmamsa Pajaka Acharya Shtota Shatashi Shmatis Divine Grace Aparachana Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBTPI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Shnupada Brahmamsa Pajaka Acharya Shtota Shatashi Shmatis Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Premise Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Chaitra Jagannath-puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samavrita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sapala Ekadashi Ki Jai, Ekadashi Vrata Ki Jai, Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Dada Daine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaya. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato yato yami tato Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. जय केशवदखा नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल विघ्न विनाशाय नरसिंहदेव भगवान की
नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो हे अभिलाषी राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो हे अभिलाषी ये तुम्हारा शरण लोय तारा वंश पूर्ण होय वृन्दावनवासी मोराये अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियोवास नयने हेरिबो सदा युगल रूपरासी ए निवेदनदार सकीरनुगात करो सेवाधिकारा दिए करो निज दासी दीन कृष्ण दासे कोय न मोरा होय श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा येन बासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा येन बासी यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्म हत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्म हत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्म हत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्म हत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्म हत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय तुलसी महारानी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी जय वृंदा देवी निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय श्री वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः श्री वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः वृंदा देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय
My desire also gave residence in the precious gold Shiva and Dhamma Tham. Thus within my vision I shall behold the beautiful paths of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follower of Kara Danso's Virgin. Please give me the privileged devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim in the love Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulasi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in the matter to chant holy name that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme devotees who have dedicated lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider name the demigods Lord Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature pursuing the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glory of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities and strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities, offering the Vedas as fruity activities, karma, kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve desired success. Krishna Prema. Now let us offer our most humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as I trees who can fulfill to everyone. They are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. So today is Sapala Ekadashi, so fasting from beans and greens, and yeah. Let's recite Chaitanya Shastakam ki jai. Cheto darpana marjanam pavamahadavakni nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamita Sadhanam Sarvatamasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha Etadishi Tava Kripa Bhagavam Mamapi Durudevami Dvisham Iha Janina Nuragaha Trinatapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Harihi Na Thanam Na Janam Na Sundarim Kavitamba Jagadisha Kahamaye Mama Jammani Jammanishvare Bhavata Bhaktir Haituki Tavayi Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Man Vishame Bhavam Putha Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Thuri Satesham Vichintaya Nayanam Galadashuru Daraya Vadanam Katkata Rudhaya Gira Pulakai Nichitam Mapurkada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishati Yugaitam Nimishena Chakshuksha Pravisha Itam Shunya Itam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahe Name Ashrisha Va Padaratam Pinnastumam Adarshanam Marmahatam Karotuva Yatha Tatha Va Vitatatu Lampato Mat Prana Nathastu Saeva Na Paraha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam Ki Jai. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes fire of conditional life for repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan is the prime benediction of humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction human beings. Thus you have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have vested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, our kindness enables us to easily approach you by holy names, but I'm so unfortunate I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tall than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Marananda Krishna, I'm an eternal servitor, yet somehow I fall in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the Adams at your lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name, while my voice choke up, while the hairs of my body stand end to recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling our separation, I'm considered a moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and shall remain so if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam Ki Jai. Shri Mangala Charanam Prayers Ki Jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Litam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Ragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatyadesha Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanivi Devi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadya Shri Rupa Nuga Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Darine รูปานุกวิรุตาภสิทธันทตวันตหาริเนนะโมกรคิชรายะสักชาไวราเกมุตเยวิปลัมบรสัมโพเทพาดัมปูจายเตนะมะนะโมภักติวิโนตายะสัจจิตานันดนามิเนกรชักติสวรูปายะรูปานุกวรายเตกราวิรปาวะปุเมสตวมนิเตชตาสจนะปริยะไวชนวาสารปาวมาชีจักนทายเตนะมะวัญชาเกาปตรูเปียชะกริปาสินตุเพวะจปฏิตานัมปาวเนเพียวไวชนเวเพียวนะโมนะมะนะโมมหาวดัญญายะคริชนเพรมปตายเตคริชนายะคริชนเชตัญญานามเนกรเทเชนะมะปัญจทัตวาตมคัมคริชนัมภักตรูปสวรูปกัมภักตาวตารัมภักตาคัมนามามิภักตชักติกัมเฮคริชนกรุณาสินโดดีนบันโดจักปเตโกปิชโกปิกาคันตราธาคันตนโมสตุเตจายตัมสรโทพังโกมมมันตมเทรกติมัสสรวสวาพดัมโพโจราธามาตนโมหโนตีเวดวินดาลเนเขาปตุมาตาชิมตรานาการสิงหาสนสโตชิมตราธาชิลโกวินเดเตโวพริชธาริบีเสเวมาโนสมรามิชิมันราสารสารัมปิวัมชิวัตตตสติตาคารชังเวนุสเนรโกพิรโกปินาธาชิเยสตุนะตัปตะกันชนกอรังกีราเทวรินดาวนิชวรีวิชปานุสุเตเตวิพนมามิหริพริเยจายชีคริชนเจตัญญาพระบุนิตานันดาเชื่อตัวเตกตาธาระชีวาสาดิกรภักตรินดาฮเรคริชนาฮเรคริชนาคริชนาคริชนาฮเรฮเรฮเรรามาฮเรรามารามารามาฮเรฮเรชีมังกรชานะ prayers की जय श्री ब्रह्म संहिता की जय ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिराद्य गोविंद सर्व कारण कारणम चिंतामणि परकर सत्मसुकपविक्ष लक्षावृथेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तं लक्ष्मी सहस्रशत संभ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि वेणुं कवनन्तमरविन्ददलायताक्षं पार्हावतं समसितां बुधसुन्दरङ्गं कन्तर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्तकलसवनमालवंशि रानाङ्गदम्पनयकेलिकलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिभङ्गललितं नियतप्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं च कान्ति आनन्दचिन्मयसधुचलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अद्वैतम् अच्युतमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभम् अदुर्लभम् आत्मभक्तो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्थास्तु कोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रगाम्यो वायुरथापि मनसो मुनिपङ्गवानं सोऽपि अस्ति यः पपदसिम्य विचिन्त्य तत्त्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि एकोऽप्यसौरचयितुं जगदन्तकोटिं यच्चक्तिरस्ति जगदन्तचया यदन्तः अन्तान्तरस्थपरमाणुचयान्तरस्थं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यद्भावभावितधियो मनुजास्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमासनयानभूषः सूक्तर्यम् एव निगमपठितैस्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतिभाविताभिस्तापि एव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसति किलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि प्रेमञ्जनश्रुतभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि Ramadimurtishu Kalanyamena Tishtan Nanavatarama Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhava Parama Pumam Yo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire, in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord who is adept in the playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, round whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyamasundar is eternally manifest.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of the transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universe, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas but obtainable by pure, unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha. Yet he is the person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe, and whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis, who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves, and parinama by drilling. The respiration of the Yanis, who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundans, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All of the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe, at one and at the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra Siktas told by the Vedas, by giving their appropriate beauty, greatness, stones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm Goloka with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed by the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confident Sakis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever-blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyamasundar, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts, with the eye of devotion, tinged with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions.
Sri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Shrunvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hrudayanta histo hi abhadrani vidunoti suhrutsatam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayasche cheta eter anavidam sitam satve prasidati evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangascha jayati vidyate hrudaya granteschidyante sarva samasyaha shiyante chasya karmani drushta evatmanishwari.
To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him.
In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord.
By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished.
When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service and understands the science of God perfectly.
Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamshayam Samagram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understands the science of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, Canto 2, chapter 2, text 33. Nahi ato nyai sivaha pantaha visataha samsritav iha vasudeve bhagavati bhakti yogo yato bhavet. Na, never, hey, certainly. Ataha, beyond this, anyaha, any other, sivaha, auspicious, pantaha, means visataha, wandering, samsrutav, in the material world, iha, in this life, Vasudeve, unto Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, Bhagavati, the personality of Godhead, Bhakti Yogaha, direct devotional service, Yataha, wherein Bhavet may result in. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. For those who are wandering in the material universe, there is no more auspicious means of deliverance than what is aimed at in the direct devotional service of Lord Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. As will be clarified in the next verse, devotional service or direct bhakti yoga is the only absolute and auspicious means of deliverance from the grip of material existence. There are many indirect methods for deliverance from the clutches of material existence, but none of them is as easy and auspicious as bhakti yoga. The means of jnana and yoga and other allied disciplines are not independent in delivering a performer. Such activities help one to reach the stage of Bhakti Yoga after many, many years. In the Bhagavad Gita 12.5, it is said that those who are attached to the impersonal feature of the Absolute are liable to many troubles in the pursuit of their desired goal. And the empirist philosophers searching after the Absolute Truth realize the importance of Vasudeva realization as all in all after many, many births. Bhagavad Gita 7.19. As far as yoga systems are concerned, it is also said in the Bhagavad Gita 6.47 that amongst the mystics who pursue the absolute truth, the one who is always engaged in the service of the Lord is the greatest of all. And the last instruction in the Bhagavad Gita 18.66 advises fully surrendering unto the Lord, leaving aside all other engagements or different processes for self-realization and liberation from material bondage. And the purport of all Vedic literatures is to induce one to accept the transcendental loving service of the Lord by all means. As already explained in the text of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, whether direct Bhakti Yoga or the means which ultimately culminate in Bhakti Yoga without any tinge of fruitive activity constitute the highest form of religion. Everything else is simply a waste of time for the performer. Srila Sridhara Swami and all other acharyas like Jiva Goswami agree that Bhakti Yoga is not only easy, simple, natural and free from trouble, but is the only source of happiness for the human being.
I will read that for you. Canto 2, Chapter 2, Text 34.
Bhagavan Brahma Kartsneyena Trid Anuviksha Manishaya Tad Adhyavasyat Kutasto Ratir Atmanyato Bhavet.
The great personality, Brahman with great attention and concentration of the mind, studied the Vedas 3 times, and after scrutinizing, examining the ascertained that attraction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the highest perfection of religion. Sri Suga Goswami is referring to the highest Vedic authority, Lord Brahman, who is the qualitative incarnation of Godhead. The Vedas were taught to Brahmi in the beginning of the material creation. Although Brahmi was to hear Vedic instructions directly from the personality of Godhead, in order to satisfy the inquisitiveness of all prospective students of the Vedas, Brahma, just like scholar, studied the Vedas 3 times, as generally done by all scholars. He studied with great attention, concentrating on the purpose of the Vedas and the scrutinizing, examining the whole process of ascertain that becoming a pure, unalloyed devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the topmost perfection of all religions, principles, and this is the late instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, directly pressed by the personality of Godhead. The Vedic conclusion is thus accepted by all Acharyas, and those who are against this conclusion are only the Vedas, Ratras, and explained in the Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavan sarva bhuteshu lakshita swatmana hari drishyer buddhya adbhir drashta lakshaner anuma pakai. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, sarva, all, bhuteshu, the living entities, lakshita, is visible, swaatmana, along with the self, hari, the Lord, drishyai, by what is seen, buddhya, buddhi, by intelligence, drashta, one who sees, lakshanai, by different signs, anumapakai, by hypotheses. Translation: the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is in every living being, along with the individual soul. And this fact is perceived and hypothesized in our acts of seeing, taking help from intelligence.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The general argument of the common man is that since the Lord is not visible to our eyes, how can one either surrender unto Him or render transcendental loving service unto Him? To such a common man, here is a practical suggestion given by Srila Shukadeva Goswami as to how one can perceive the Supreme Lord by reason and perception. Actually, the Lord is not perceivable by our present materialized senses. But when one is convinced of the presence of the Lord by a practical service attitude, there is a revelation by the Lord's mercy, and such a pure devotee of the Lord can perceive the Lord's presence always and everywhere. He can perceive that intelligence is the form direction of the Paramatma plenary portion of the personality of Godhead. The presence of Paramatma in everyone's company is not very difficult to realize, even for the common man. The procedure is as follows. One can perceive one's self-identification and feel positivity that he exists. He may not feel it very abruptly, but by using a little intelligence, he can feel that he is not the body. He can feel that the hand, the leg, the head, the hair, and the limbs are all his bodily parts and parcels. But as such, the hand, the leg, the head, etc., cannot be identified with his self. Therefore, just by using intelligence, he can distinguish and separate his self from other things that he sees. So the natural conclusion is that the living being, either man or beast, is the seer, and he sees besides himself all other things. So there is a difference between the seer seer, and the seen. Now, by a little use of intelligence, we can also readily agree that the living being who sees the things beyond himself by ordinary vision has no power to see or to move independently. All our ordinary actions and perceptions depend on various forms of energy supplied to us by nature in various combinations. Our sense of perception and of action, that is to say, our five perceptive senses of hearing, touch, sight, taste, and smell, as well as our five senses of action, namely hands, legs, speech, evacuation organs, and reproductive organs, and our three subtle senses, namely mind, intelligence, and ego, 13 senses in all, or supplied to us by various arrangements of gross or subtle forms of natural energy. And it is equally evident that our subjects of perception are nothing. So, thank you. That our objects of perception are nothing but the products of the inexhaustible permutations and combinations of the forms taken by natural energy. As this conclusively proves that the ordinary living being has no independent power of perception or of motion, and as we undoubtedly feel our existence being conditioned by nature's energy, we conclude that he who sees in spirit and that the spirit who sees is spirit, and that the senses as well as the objects of perception are material. The spiritual quality of the seer is manifest in our dissatisfaction with the limited state of materially conditioned existence. That is the difference between spirit and matter. There are some less intelligent arguments that matter develops the power of seeing and moving as a certain organic development. But such an argument cannot be accepted because there is no experimental evidence that matter has anywhere produced a living entity. Trust no future, however pleasant. Idle talks regarding future development of matter into spirit are actually foolish because no matter has ever developed the power of seeing or moving in any part of the world. Therefore, it is definite that matter and spirit are two different identities, and this conclusion is arrived at by the use of intelligence. Now, we come to the point that the things which are seen by a little use of intelligence cannot be animate unless we accept someone as the user of or director of the intelligence. Intelligence gives one direction like some higher authority, and the living being cannot see or move or eat or do anything without the use of intelligence. When one fails to take advantage of intelligence, he becomes a deranged man, and so a living being is dependent on intelligence or the direction of a superior being. Such intelligence is all pervading. Every living being has his intelligence, and this intelligence, being the direction of some higher authority, is just like a father giving direction to his son. The higher authority, who is present and residing within every individual living being, is the super self.
At this point in our investigation, we may consider the following questions. On the one hand, we realize that all our perceptions and activities are conditioned by arrangements of material nature. Yet we also ordinarily feel and say, I am perceiving, or I am doing. Therefore, we can say that our material senses of perception and action are moving, because we are identifying the self with the material body, and that the superior principle of supersoul is guiding in the super self is guiding and supplying us according to our desire. By taking advantage of the guidance of super self in the form of intelligence, we can either continue to study and to put into practice our conclusion that I am not this body, or we can choose to remain in the false material identification, fancying ourselves to be the possessors and doers. Our freedom consists in orienting our desire either towards the ignorant material conception of the true spiritual conception. We can we can easily attain to the true spiritual conception by recognizing the super self Paramatma to be our friend and guide, and by dovetailing our intelligence with the superior intelligence of Paramatma. The super soul and the individual self are both spirit, and therefore the super self and the individual self are both qualitatively one and distinct from matter. But the super self and the individual self cannot be on an equal level, because the super self gives directions or supplies intelligence, and the individual self follows that direction, and thus actions are performed properly. The individual is to completely depend on the direction of the super self, because in every step the individual self follows the direction of the super self in the matter of seeing, hearing, thinking, feeling, willing, etc. So far as common sense is concerned, we come to the conclusion that there are three identities, namely matter, spirit, and super spirit. Now, if we go to the Bhagavad Gita or the Vedic intelligence, we can further understand that all three identities, namely matter, individual spirit, and the super spirit, are all dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The super soul is a partial representation or plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Bhagavad Gita affirms that the Supreme Personality of Godhead dominates all of the material world by its partial representation only. God is great, and he cannot be simply an order supplier of the individual selves. Therefore, the super self cannot be a full representation of the Supreme Self, Purushottama, the Absolute Personality of Godhead. Realization of the super self by the individual self is the beginning of self-realization, and by the progress of such self-realization, one is able to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead by intelligence, by the help of authorized scriptures, and principally by the grace of the Lord. The Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary conception of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a further explanation of the science of Godhead. So if we stick to our determination and pray for the mercy of the director of intelligence, sitting within the same bodily tree, like a bird sitting with another bird, as explained in the Upanishads, certainly the purport of the revealed information in the Vedas becomes clear to our vision. And there is no difficulty in realizing the Supreme Personality of God in Vasudeva. The intelligent man, therefore, after many births of such use of intelligence, surrenders himself at the lotus feet of Vasudeva, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Text 36. Tasmat sarvatmana rajan hari sarvatra sarvada shrotavya krititavyascha samatvyo bhagavan. Tasmat, therefore, Sarva, all, Atmana, soul, Rajan, O King, Hari, the Lord, Sarvatra, everywhere, Sarvada, always, Shrotavya, must be heard, Kritivya, Kritityavaha, glorified, Cha, also, Smratavya, be remembered, Bhagavan, the personality of God in Nirnam, by the human being. Translation. O King, it is therefore essential that every human being hear about, glorify, and remember the Supreme Lord, the personality of God, always and everywhere. Purport. Srila Sukadeva Goswami begins this verse with the word tasmat, or therefore, because in the previous verse he has already explained that there is no auspicious meaning
means for salvation other than the sublime process of Bhakti Yoga. The Bhakti Yoga process is practiced by the devotees in different methods like hearing, chanting, remembering, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, worshipping, praying, rendering service and love, becoming friendly, and offering all that one may possesses. All nine methods are bona fide methods, and either all of them, some of them are even one of them can bring about the desired result of the sincere devotee. But most important, but out of all the 9 different methods, the first one, namely hearing, is the most important function in the process of Bhakti Yoga. Without hearing sufficiently and properly, no one can make a process by any progress by any of the methods of practice. And for hearing only, all the Vedic literatures are there compiled by 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 author by authorized persons like Vyasadeva, who is powerful incarnation of Godhead. And since it has been ascertained that the Lord is that the Lord is the super soul of everything, He should therefore be heard and glorified everywhere and always. That is a special duty of the human being. When the human being gives up the process of hearing about the all-pervading personality of God, he becomes victim to the hearing rubbish transmitted by man-made machines. Machinery is not bad, because though the machine, one can take advantage of hearing about the Lord, but because machinery is used for ulterior purposes, it is creating rapid degradation in the standard of human civilization. It is said here that it is incumbent upon the human beings to hear, because the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam are made for that purpose. Living beings other than human beings have no ability to hear such Vedic literatures. If human society gives itself to the process of hearing the Vedic literature, it will not become a victim to the impious sounds vibrated by impious men who degrade the standards of the total society. Hearing is solid. Hearing is solidified by the process of chanting. One who has perfectly pervading heard from the perfect source becomes convinced about the all-pervading personality of Godhead, and thus becomes enthusiastic in glorifying the Lord. All the great acharyas like Ramanuja, Madhva, Chaitanya, Saraswati Thakura, or even in other countries, Muhammad, Christ, and others, have all extensively glorified the Lord by chanting always and in every place. Because the Lord is all-pervading, it is essential to glorify Him always and everywhere. In the process of glorifying the Lord, there should be no restriction of the time and space. It is called Sanatana Dharma or Bhagavata Dharma. Sanatana means eternal, always and everywhere. Bhagavata means pertaining to Bhagavan. The Lord is the master of all time and all space, and therefore the Lord's holy name must be heard, glorified, and remembered everywhere in the world. that will bring about the desired peace and prosperity so eagerly awaited by the people of the world. The word includes all the remaining process of or methods of bhakti yoga as mentioned above.
Canto 2, Chapter 2, Text 37. Pibanti ye bhagavata atmana satam kathamritam sravana puteshu sambhritam punanti te vishaya vidusita sayam vrajanti tacharana saroruhanitikam. Pibanti, who drink, yea, those, Bhagavata, of the personality of Godhead, Atmana, of the most dear, Satam, of devotees, Katha Amritam, the nectar of the messages, Shravana Puteshu, within the ear holes, Sambritam, fully fulfilled, Puranti, purify, Te, there, Vishaya, material enjoyment, Vidushita Asayam, polluted aim of life, Vrajanti, do go back, Tat, the Lord's, Charana, feet, Saroruhankitam, near the lotus. Translation. Those who drink through oral reception, fully filled with the nectarian message of Lord Krishna, the beloved of the devotees, purify the polluted aim of life known as material enjoyment and thus go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of Him, the personality of Godhead. Purport. The sufferings of human society are due to a polluted aim of life, namely lording it over the material resources. The more human society engages in the exploitation of undeveloped material resources for sense gratification, the more it will be entrapped by the illusory material energy of the Lord, and thus the distress of the world will be intensified instead of diminished. The human necessities of life are fully supplied by the Lord in the shape of food grains, milk, fruit, wood, stone, sugar, silk, jewels, cotton, salt, water, vegetables, etc., in sufficient quantity to feed and care for the human race of the world as well as the living beings on each and every planet within the universe. The supply source is complete, and only a little energy by the human being is required to get his necessities into the proper channel. There is no need of machines and tools or huge steel plants for artificially creating comforts of life. Life is never made comfortable by artificial needs, but by plain living and high thinking. The highest perfectional thinking for human society is suggested here by Sukadeva Goswami, namely, sufficiently hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. For men in this age of Kali, when they have lost the perfect vision of life, this Srimad Bhagavatam is the torchlight by which to see the real path. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada has commented on the Kathamritam mentioned in this verse and has indicated Srimad Bhagavatam to be the nectarian message of the personality of Godhead. By sufficient hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, the polluted aim of life, namely lording it over matter, will subside, and the people in general in all parts of the world will be able to live a peaceful life of knowledge and bliss. For a pure devotee of the Lord, any topics in relation with his name, fame, quality, entourage, etc. are all pleasing, and because such topics have been approved by great devotees like Narada, Hanuman, Nanda Maharaj, and other inhabitants of Vrindavana, certainly such messages are transcendental and pleasing to the heart and soul. And by the constant hearing of the messages of the Bhagavad Gita and later of Srimad Bhagavatam, one is assured herein by Srila Sukadeva Goswami that he will reach the personality of Godhead and render him transcendental loving service in the spiritual planet of the name Goloka Vrindavana, which resembles a huge lotus flower. Thus, by the process of Bhakti Yoga, directly accepted as suggested in this verse, by sufficient hearing of the transcendental message of the Lord, the material contamination is directly eliminated without once attempting to contemplate the impersonal Virat conception of the Lord. And by practicing Bhakti Yoga, if the performer is not purified from the material contamination, he must be a pseudo-devotee. For such an impostor, there is no remedy for being freed from material entanglement. Thus, and the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second canto, second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Lord in the Heart.
Chapter 3.
श्रीशुक उवाच एवमेतान्निगदितं पृष्ट्वा वाण्यर्भवान् मम निर्नम्यन्म्रियामणानां मनेष्येषु मनीषीणां
Manusheshu Manishinam. Sri Sukha Uvacha. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Evam, so, etat, all these. Nigaditam answered. Prishtavan, as you inquired. Yet, what? Bhavan, your good self. Mama, unto me. Nrunam, of the human being. Yet one. Mriyamananam, on the threshold of death. Manusheshu, amongst the human beings. Manishinam, of the intelligent men.
Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, as you have inquired from me as to the duty of the intelligent man who is on the threshold of death, so I have answered you. Purport. In human society all over the world, there are millions and billions of men and women, and almost all of them are less intelligent because they have very little knowledge of spirit's will. Almost all of them have a wrong conception of life. Subtle material, for they identify themselves with the gross and subtle material bodies, which they are not, in fact. They may be situated in different high and low positions in the estimation of human society. But one should know definitely that unless one inquires about his own self beyond the body and the mind, all his activities in the human life are total failures. Therefore, out of thousands and thousands of men, one may inquire about his spirit self and thus consult the revealed scriptures like Vedanta Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. But in spite of reading and hearing such scriptures, unless one is in touch with a realized spiritual master, he cannot actually realize the real nature of the self, etc. And out of thousands and hundreds of thousands of men, someone may know that Lord Krishna is in fact. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 20.122 through 123, it is said that Lord Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, prepared the Vedic literatures in the incarnation of Vyasadeva for reading by the intelligent class of men in a human society which is almost totally forgetful of the genuine relation with Krishna. Even such an intelligent class of men may be forgetful in their relation with the Lord. The whole bhakti yoga process is therefore a revival of the lost relation. This revival is possible in the human form of life, which is obtained only out of the evolutionary cycle of 8,400,000 species of life. The intelligent class of human being must take a serious note of this opportunity. Not all human beings are intelligent, so the importance of human life is not always understood. Therefore, manasinam, meaning thoughtful, is particularly used here. A Manisinam person like Maharaj Parikshit must therefore take to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and fully engage himself in devotional service, hearing, chanting, etc. of the holy name of in pastimes of the Lord, which are all Hari Harikatamrita. This action is especially recommended when one is preparing for death.
Text Text 2 to 7, Canto 2, Chapter 3. Brahmavarchasa kamastu yajeta brahmanapatim indram indriya kamastu prajakama prajapatin devim mayam tu shri kamas tejas kamo vibhavasum Vasukamo vasun rudran Viryakamota viryavan Annadhyakamaствaditam Sargakamodite sutan Vishwan devan rajakama Sadhyan samsadako visham.
Ayushkamo svinau devau pushti kama ilam yajet pratishta kamaha purusho radashi lokamatarao rupa bikamo gandharvan stri kamo spara urvasim adipatya kama sarvesham yajeta paramestinam Jnanam yajedyashash kama kosha kama prachetasham vidya kama girisham dampatyaram dampatyara tata yarta umam satim.
Brahma, the absolute, Varchasa, effulgence, Kamato, but one who desires in that way, Ejeta, do worship, Brahmanaha of the Vedas, Patim, the master, Indram, the king of heaven, Indriya Kama too, but one who desires strong sense organs, Prajakama, one who desires many offspring, Prajapatin, Prajapatis, Devim, the goddess, Mayam, unto the mistress of the material world, two but Sri Kamaha, one who desires beauty, Teja, power, Kamaha, one who so desires, Vibha Vashum, the fire god, Vasukama, one who wants wealth, Vasun, the Vasu demigods, Rudran, the Rudra expansions of Lord Shiva, Viryakamaha, one who wants to be very strongly built, Ata, therefore, Viryavan, the most powerful, Annadya, grains, Kamaha, one who so desires, two but Adithim, Aditi, mother of the demigods, Swarga, heaven, Kamaha, so desiring, Adite Sutan, the sons of Aditi, Vishwan, Vishwadeva, Devan, demigods, Rajakama, those who hanker for kingdoms, Sadhyan, the Sadhya demigods, Samsadakaha, what fulfills the wishes, Visham, of the mercantile community, Ayukamaha, desirous of long life, Ashwinau, the two demigods known as the Ashwini brothers, Devau, the two demigods, Pustikama, one who desires a strongly built body, Ilam, the earth, Ejet, must worship, Pratistakamaha, one who desires good fame, stability in a post, Purusha, such men, Rodasi, the horizon, Lokamatarau, and the earth, Rupa, beauty, Abhikamaha, positively aspiring for, Gandharvan, the residents of the Gandharva planet, who are very beautiful and are expert in singing, Stri Kama, one who desires a good wife, Apsarasa Urvasim, the society girls of the heavenly kingdom. Adipatya Kamaha, one who desires to dominate others. Sarvesham, everyone. Ejeta, must worship. Parametistinam, Brahma, the head of the universe. Yagnam, the personality of Godhead. Ejet, must worship. Yasha Kama, one who desires to be famous. Kosha Kama, one who desires a good bank balance. Prachetasam, the treasurer of heaven, known as Varuna. Vidya Kamatu, but one who desires education. Girisham, the lord of the Himalayas, Lord Shiva. Dampatyartha, and for conjugal love. Umam Satim, the chaste wife of Lord Shiva, known as Uma. Translation: One who desires to be absorbed in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti effulgence should worship the master of the Vedas, Lord Brahma or Brihaspati, the learned priest. One who desires powerful sex should worship the heavenly king Indra. One who desires good progeny should worship the great progenitors called the Prajapatis. One who desires good fortune should worship Durga Devi, the superintendent of material world. One desiring to be very powerful should worship fire. One who aspires only after money should worship the Vasus. One should worship the Rudra incarnations of Lord Shiva if he wants to be a great hero. One who wants a large stack of grain should worship Aditi. One who desires to attain the heavenly planets should worship the sons of Aditi. One who desires a worldly kingdom should worship Vishwadeva. And one who wants to be popular with the general mass of population should worship the Sadhya demigod. One who desires a long span of life should worship the demigods known as the Ashwini Kumaras. And a person desiring a strongly built body should worship the earth. One who desires stability in his post should worship the horizon and the earth combined. One who desires to be beautiful should worship the beautiful residents of Gandharva planet. And one who desires a good wife should worship the Apsaras and the Urvasi society girls of the heavenly kingdom. One who desires domination over others should worship Lord Brahma, the head of the universe. One who desires tangible fame should worship the personality of Godhead. And one who desires a good bank balance should worship the demigod Varuna. If one desires to be a greatly learned man, he should worship Lord Shiva. And if one desires a good marital relation, he should worship the chaste goddess Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva.
Wait, how long?
Purport: By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There are different modes of worship for different persons desiring success in particular subjects. The conditioned soul, living within the purview of the material world, cannot be an expert in every type of materially enjoyable asset. But one can have considerable influence over a particular matter by worshipping a particular demigod, as mentioned above. Ravana was made a very powerful man by worshipping Lord Shiva, and he used to offer severed heads to please Lord Shiva. He became so powerful by the grace of Lord Shiva that all the demigods were afraid of him, until he at last challenged the personality of Godhead, Sri Ramachandra, and thus ruined himself. In other words, all such persons who aspire after gaining some or all of the material objects of the enjoyment, or the gross materialistic persons, or on the whole less intelligent, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7.20. It is said there that those who are bereft of all good sense are those whose intelligence is withdrawn by the deluding energy of Maya. aspire to achieve all sorts of material enjoyment in life by pleasing the various demigods or by advancing in material civilization under the heading of scientific progress. The real problem of life in the material world is to solve the question of birth, death, old age, and disease. No one wants to change his birthright. No one wants to meet death. No one wants to be told or invalid. And no one wants diseases. But these problems are solved neither by the grace of any demigod nor by the so called advancement of material science. In the Bhagavad Gita, as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, such less intelligent persons have been described as devoid of all good sense. Sukadeva Goswami said that out of the 8,400,000 species of living entities, the human form of life is rare and valuable. And out of those rare human beings, those who are conscious of the material problems are rarer still. And the still more rare persons are those who are conscious of the value of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which contains the messages of the Lord and His pure devotees. Death is inevitable for everyone, intelligent or foolish. But Parikshit Maharaj has been addressed by the Goswami as a Manishi, or the man of highly developed mind, because at the time of death he left all material enjoyment and completely surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord by hearing his messages from the right person, Sukadeva Goswami. But aspirations for the material enjoyment by endeavoring persons are condemned. Such aspirations are something like the intoxication of the degraded human society. Intelligent persons should try to avoid these aspirations and seek instead the permanent life by returning home back to Godhead.
One should worship Lord Vishnu or his devotees for spiritual advancement in knowledge and the protection of purity and advancement of a dynasty. One should worship the various demigods. Prabhupada's purport. The path of religion entails making progress on the path of spiritual advancement, ultimately reviving the eternal relation with Lord Vishnu in his impersonal influence, his localized Paramatma feature, and ultimately his personal features by spiritual advancement in knowledge, and one who wants to establish a good dynasty and be happy in the progress of temporarily bodies. Relations should take shelter of pieties and the demigods and other pious planets. Such different classes of worships of different demigods may ultimately reach the respective planets of those demigods within the universe. But he who reaches the spiritual planets in the Brahmayotis achieves the highest perfection. Hare Krishna.
So today we read until Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 7. We'll continue reading tomorrow. Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna. We'll continue to Guru Puja.
जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा श्री गुरु चरण बंदो मुई सावधान मते बंदो मुई बंदो मुई सावधान मते बंदो मुई सावधान जहर प्रसादे भाई ए भवतुरिया जय जहर कृष्ण प्राप्ति होए जहा आइते गुरुमुख पद्म वाक्य चिते ते कुरिया ऐक्य गुरुमुख वाक्य और ना करी हो मने आशा और ना करी हो श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति श्री गुरु ऐसे उत्तम गति जे प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जे प्रसादे पूरे सर्व जे प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा जे प्रसाद चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से अक्षुदान दी जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रेम भक्ति जहा होइते अविद्या विनाश जते भक्ति जहा प्रेम भक्ति जहा होइते अविद्या विनाश जते वेदे गाय जहर चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जनर बंधु गुरु करुणा सिंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना लोकेर जीवाना আহা প্রভু করো দয়া দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া প্রভু দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া আহা প্রভু করো দয়া মোরে পদ ছায়া আহা প্রভু করো দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া এবে যাস ঘোষো ত্রিভুবনা এবে এবে যাস ঘোষো ত্রিভুবনা এবে যাস ঘোষো ত্রিভুবনা শিলা প্রভুপাদ ইলো শরণ जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय हरि बोल कृष्णप्रस्थाय हरि हरि बोल नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशता जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री चैतन्य भू नित्यानंद नित्यानंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hari Bol Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hari Bol Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take the shelter of your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.